Have you ever wondered what it would be like to step into a version of yourself who's already succeeded, already healed, already living your biggest dreams? What if I told you that's not just poetic talk, but a real, science-backed process? Today you're going to discover how quantum jumping isn't a metaphor. It's an actual transformational method you can start using now. In this video, we're going deep into how you can let go of the old you, clear old patterns, and literally shift into a reality where your highest version already exists. Here, what we'll cover. First, we'll explore what quantum jumping really is, not just the spiritual buzzword, but what happens physiologically, psychologically, and energetically when it works. Then we'll get practical, step by step, on how to do it, including mindset shifts, breathing techniques, and subtle daily habits that anchor the change. Along the way, I'll share gentle lifestyle tips to support this process. Things like journaling, rest, emotional self-care, that most people overlook but which are absolutely essential. Lastly, we'll look at how to sustain this state of quantum you, so that the jump isn't just a moment but becomes your new baseline reality. So if you've ever felt stuck, repeating the same patterns, or doubted that transformation could be real and lasting, stick with me, because by the end of this video you'll not only understand how quantum jumping works, you'll know how to step into your future self with clarity and alignment. Before we dive in, if you're new here, make sure to subscribe so you don't miss upcoming videos that help you upgrade your mindset, your energy, and your life. You'll want this in your regular toolkit. So let's get into the heart of this. What exactly is quantum jumping, and why is it not just a metaphor? In the simplest terms, quantum jumping is the process of shifting your state of consciousness so that you align with a version of reality where you already embody the results you're seeking. Modern physics has shown us through quantum mechanics that multiple possibilities exist simultaneously at the subatomic level. While scientists are careful not to overstate this into pop spirituality, it's undeniable that human perception and attention collapse those probabilities into what we experience as reality. What this means for you and me is powerful. By consciously shifting your inner state, your thoughts, your beliefs, your emotions, you begin to tune into a new version of reality where your desired outcome already exists. Think about this for a moment. You've probably noticed how when you're in a negative mood, the world seems to confirm it. Traffic is worse, people are more irritating, opportunities seem invisible. That's not coincidence, that's perception aligning with vibration. Quantum jumping takes this idea further by asking, what if I step into the me who already feels calm, successful, creative, or abundant? And here's the key. It's not about pretending, it's about embodying. Neuroscience backs this up. Studies on neuroplasticity show that when you vividly imagine and emotionally rehearse a new self, your brain begins to wire as though that self is already real. Dr. Joe Dispenza and others have published evidence of how visualization, breathwork, and meditation create measurable changes in brain waves, hormones, and even immune function. So when we talk about quantum jumping, it's not just a metaphorical leap, it's a physiological and energetic process. Now let's walk through the basic steps. Step 1 is clarity. You need a strong sense of who that future self is. This isn't just vague affirmations like, I want to be rich, or I want to be happy. What does that version of you wake up thinking? How do they walk, breathe, eat, and speak? What emotions are natural for them? The clearer the mental model, the stronger the bridge. Step 2 is relaxation. To shift states, your nervous system must move out of fight or flight and into coherence. Breathing techniques, like slow inhales through the nose, holding for 4 counts and exhaling longer than you inhale, send direct signals to your brain to calm down. Step 3 is embodiment. While visualizing, let yourself actually feel the emotions of your new self. Confidence, ease, joy. Don't just see it, feel it. Step 4 is anchoring. Create small rituals in daily life, like journaling as if the shift has already happened, moving your body differently, or even changing your environment slightly to remind your system of the new frequency. A gentle lifestyle tip here. Don't pressure yourself to be perfect at this. Many people think if they have one bad day, they've lost their jump. That's not true. Think of it like tuning a radio. You might slip into static, but the station is still there, waiting for you to dial back. Giving yourself compassion is part of the process. Another tip is to surround yourself with reminders, uplifting music, vision boards, supportive people. Your environment either reinforces your old self or supports the new one, so choose wisely. Let me ask you, have you ever had a moment where you felt completely different just because of a shift in perspective? Maybe after a deep conversation, a meditation, or even a good workout. That's a mini quantum jump. Recognizing those moments helps you trust the bigger jumps. And here, where it gets exciting, the more often you practice this, the easier it becomes. Just as athletes use visualization to enhance performance, you're using your imagination and physiology to enhance your life. Over time, the old you feels less and less real, and the new you feels natural. That's when you know the jump has truly happened. Now, before we go deeper, let's take a pause and really engage here, because this isn't just about me explaining, it's about you actively stepping into this process. I want you to think about something. If you could quantum jump right now into a version of yourself that already solved one major challenge in your life, what would it be? Would it be financial freedom, more confidence in relationships, better health, maybe even just peace of mind in a stressful world? Take a moment to picture it, and if you feel comfortable, drop it in the comments below. Writing it out is powerful because you're not only telling yourself, you're signaling your intention to the universe and joining a community of people who are also on this path. Here, another quick exercise. Close your eyes, even for 10 seconds. Imagine yourself 1 year from now having made that jump. What's the first thing you notice about your environment? Is it a calmer home, a bigger smile in the mirror, maybe a more energized body? These little mental rehearsals may seem simple, but neuroscience shows they literally prime your brain to accept new patterns. When you share what you see in the comments, you're not just engaging, you're reinforcing the neural pathway of that new self. That's why community matters. Now let's talk about something practical. Many people struggle to stay consistent with practices like visualization or meditation because life gets busy. Here's a gentle lifestyle tip. Instead of waiting for the perfect 20-minute meditation, use micro moments. While waiting for your coffee to brew, pause, take 3 slow breaths and recall your future self. While walking to your car, imagine walking as that version of you. These micro jumps add up and keep you aligned without overwhelming your schedule. Let me ask you, could you try this right after watching? Maybe even today. And hey, if you're still watching right now, you're clearly curious about growth and transformation, and I just want to honor that. Most people click away when they hear something new or challenging, but you've stayed, which means you already have the persistence needed for quantum jumping to work. So why not make this a habit? Hit that subscribe button right now and turn on notifications, because this channel is about giving you practical tools, not fluff, not hype, but tested methods that combine science and spirituality to help you step into the life you deserve. Here's a thought to reflect on. What if quantum jumping wasn't about chasing success or fixing yourself, but about remembering the wholeness that's already there? Sometimes the most profound shifts come not from adding more, but from letting go of fear, of old labels, of other people's expectations. I'd love to hear your take. Do you feel your jump is about gaining something new or about letting go of something old? Share below and let's start a real conversation. Remember, engagement isn't just for the algorithm, it's for you. The more you articulate your vision, the more your subconscious treats it as real. And when you see other people commenting, it inspires you to realize you're not alone in this journey. That sense of belonging and accountability makes the practice stronger. So, take a breath, leave your comment, subscribe if you haven't, and let's keep moving forward. The best part is still ahead, because in a moment we're going to talk about how to stabilize your quantum jumps so that you don't bounce back into old habits, but instead build a sustainable new baseline. Trust me, you don't want to miss that. All right, let's take a moment to gather everything we've explored so far, because clarity is power. And when you understand the process deeply, you're far more likely to actually use it. We began by asking a bold question. What if quantum jumping isn't just a metaphor, but a real, tangible process that you can practice? We learned that this idea isn't just mystical talk, but is rooted in both modern physics and neuroscience. Quantum mechanics shows us that multiple possibilities exist simultaneously, and neuroscience demonstrates that by focusing your attention, imagining your future self, and embodying those emotions, you can literally rewire your brain and shift your perception of reality. That's the science side, but you also felt it experientially when I guided you to imagine your future self. Even a few seconds of visualization can start creating measurable change inside you. We also broke down the steps of the process. First, you need clarity. Without a clear image of who your future you is, you're just floating. Then, we talked about relaxation, because you can't jump if your nervous system is locked in stress mode. Third, embodiment. Actually feeling the emotions of that new self, so it's not just mental but full-bodied. And finally, anchoring, creating small rituals, habits, and environmental cues to keep reinforcing the new state. These 4 steps, clarity, relaxation, embodiment, and anchoring, form the foundation of quantum jumping. Along the way, I shared a few lifestyle tips to make the process practical. Micro moments of visualization during your day are just as powerful as long meditations. Treating the process with compassion is key. Don't beat yourself up if you fall back into old patterns. Instead, notice it, breathe, and simply dial back to the frequency you want. Surrounding yourself with supportive reminders, music, words, people, even small environmental shifts, makes it easier to stay in alignment. These aren't add-ons, they're the glue that makes the jump sustainable. And here's something worth repeating: quantum jumping isn't about pretending or faking it. It's about becoming the version of yourself that already exists within you but has been waiting for your attention. Too often, people chase transformation like it's outside of them. But when you practice this, you start to see that the new you is not out there. It's simply a shift in perspective, a shift in vibration. That realization alone can change your life, because it moves you from chasing to embodying. Now, if you reflect for a moment, what stood out to you the most? Was it the science behind quantum jumping, the practical steps, or the lifestyle tips to keep it grounded? Identifying your key takeaway is important, because when you put it into words, your brain integrates it more deeply. Feel free to share your takeaway in the comments. It'll not only help you, but inspire others too. So to summarize, here are the big ideas. Multiple versions of reality exist, and you have the power to align with the one that serves you best. The process is simple but profound: clarity, relaxation, embodiment, anchoring. The practice works best with compassion, consistency, and micro moments. And the result? You don't just imagine a new you, you become it. If you've stayed with me this far, it shows you're serious about transformation, and that's exactly the kind of energy that makes this work. In just a moment, I'll give you a clear call to action. Not just to subscribe or like, but something you can do today to start your own jump. Because learning is powerful, but action is what creates change. Stay with me, because this final part will tie it all together. Now here's the moment that really matters, the call to action. Because it's one thing to watch a video and nod along, but transformation only happens when you take what you've learned and actually live it. So here's your first simple assignment. Tonight, before you go to bed, take just 5 minutes to connect with your future self. Close your eyes, breathe deeply, and imagine yourself having already made the quantum jump. Picture where you are, how you're feeling, what you've achieved. Don't just see it, feel it in your body. Then write down 3 sentences in your journal starting with, "I am the version of me who," fill in the blanks. Maybe it's, "I am the version of me who speaks with confidence," or "I am the version of me who has financial freedom," or "I am the version of me who wakes up feeling peaceful and energized." This is your first real anchor, and I promise if you do this even for a week, you'll feel the shift beginning. But here's the second call to action: don't do this alone. Transformation sticks when you're surrounded by reminders, encouragement, and accountability. That's why I want you to subscribe to this channel right now. By hitting that button and turning on notifications, you're choosing to stay connected to a flow of content that reinforces the new self you're stepping into. Think of it like tuning your radio every week to the right frequency. Without consistent reminders, it's too easy to slip back into static. And subscribing costs you nothing, but it could literally keep you aligned with the life you've been dreaming about. I also want to invite you to comment your intention below. Share your I am sentence. Why? Because saying it out loud, or in this case writing it publicly, amplifies its energy. There's research in psychology that shows public declarations increase accountability and follow-through. Plus, when you see other people's intentions, you'll realize you're not alone. We're all quantum jumpers here, each shifting into our best selves. Imagine the energy of a whole community supporting your transformation. That's powerful. Another call to action: try one micro-moment jump tomorrow. For example, when you're brushing your teeth in the morning, pause, look at yourself in the mirror, and instead of focusing on flaws or worries, smile and say, "I am the version of me who." This takes less than 10 seconds, but if you repeat it daily, it reprograms your subconscious with remarkable speed. If you feel resistance or think it's silly, that's actually a sign it's working, because it's disrupting your old programming. Stick with it. And here's a lifestyle bonus tip: pair your quantum jump practice with something physical. The body remembers what the mind rehearses. For example, if your future self walks taller, practice straightening your posture. If your future self is calm, slow down your breathing rhythm. These subtle cues train your nervous system to match your new identity. So your call to action is not just mental, it's embodied. So to recap your action steps: tonight, journal 3 I am sentences. Comment at least one below to solidify it. Subscribe to this channel to stay in alignment with future content that supports your jump. And tomorrow, practice one micro moment, whether in the mirror, while driving, or while walking, where you embody your new self. Small actions repeated with intention are what create lasting change. If you're still watching right now, let me say this: you're ready. The fact that you've stayed all the way through shows you have the focus and persistence that most people lack. Now it's time to act. So subscribe, comment, and most importantly, start living as the quantum version of you today. And that brings us to the end of today's journey into quantum jumping. If you've made it this far, I want to thank you personally, because it means you've given yourself the gift of time and focus, and that's the very first sign of transformation. Most people rush through life on autopilot, never pausing to ask, what version of me am I choosing to live as today? But you did, right here, right now. That's something to celebrate. So as you leave this video, carry one simple thought with you: the jump has already begun. The fact that you've gained clarity, practiced even a little visualization, or written down your intention means your old patterns are already shifting. Don't underestimate small steps. They're what add up to giant leaps. Just like in physics, where tiny shifts at the quantum level ripple out into big effects, your small daily choices ripple out into the life you're creating. That's not wishful thinking. That's how reality works. I want to encourage you to trust the process. You don't need to force results or constantly wonder if it's working. Think of it like planting a seed. You don't dig it up every day to check if it's growing. You water it, you nurture it, and you let time and nature do their work. Quantum jumping is the same. The clearer you are, the more consistent your micro moments, the more natural the new you becomes. One day you'll look back and realize, I'm not struggling to become that version anymore. I am that version. Before you click away, take a breath, place a hand on your heart, say quietly, even just to yourself, I am the version of me who is ready for this new reality. That's it. That's your anchor right now. And from here, all that's left is to practice. Now, if you haven't already, make sure to subscribe to this channel and turn on notifications. Every week I share tools, insights, and practices just like this one to keep you aligned with your best self. Think of it as your support system on this journey. And don't forget to comment your I am sentence below. I'll be reading through and cheering you on. When you share, you're not just helping yourself, you're inspiring someone else who might need to hear your words. And finally, if this video spoke to you, consider sharing it with a friend who's ready for their own jump. Sometimes the biggest gift we can give others is showing them that change is possible. You never know whose life you might touch just by sending this their way. So thank you again for spending this time with me. Remember, The quantum jump isn't about becoming someone else. It's about remembering the wholeness, strength, and potential that's always been within you. Keep practicing, stay compassionate with yourself, and step boldly into the reality that's waiting for you. Until next time, keep jumping, keep growing, and keep shining.